This is a Shinto rasp, and this is Shinto rash. Personal safety in the shop. Stand by. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rattlecan Guitar Restorations. I am James, and this is week 3 of the guitar building class that I'm taking for college credit, and this is going to be our first really good look at this guitar body. Now, our guitar body is made of alder, which is not a particularly hardwood. I know that sounds weird, but we're on the lower end of the hardness scale. We're not up around hickory and stuff like that. So looking at this, you can see that this body is made with finger joints. This is one of these economical ways to manufacture a guitar body out of some shorts. I do have one bark inclusion in the upper part of the lower bout. We also have a pretty decent amount of tear out in some of these areas, which is something that we're going to have to address. Alder is kind of a stringy type of wood, and it is also known apparently to want to pull back a little bit from the joints. We will address this a little bit later on. We have got a here's the where we're going to bolt the neck plate on, and this is just a locating pin used to put that on the CNC fixture. Here's another section of finger joinery right there in the neck pocket. I'm not super excited about that, but this is what we are going to work with. This is the 2 humbucker configuration. It is a hardtail. This is the control cavity with what we call a beam plate cover that will go on the back. And this is, I found a bucket to help me mark out the belly cut as well as a leg cut. And it's just sketching, and it took me a few tries. Pencil is your best friend on something like this, to just do it over and over and over again until you get it right, and then you start having at it. I was fortunate enough to have access to a Shinto rasp with which you can remove I think a tremendous amount of wood in a very short period of time. So now I've taken this back home and have worked on this with just a rasp, a round rasp, a round file, and a little bit of 120 grit sandpaper. It will be some interesting lines to see in here, because as you can tell from here, we've got a seam that runs through this belly cut. This is the leg cut out on the back of the bottom. You can see I'm kind of close to the line. We have something called a bladder sander. We actually got 2 of them at the shop, and so I'm going to wait and do that final sanding to where I can use that tool. It's actually a very slick way that you can curve something like this. We actually use bladder sander in building acoustic guitars to sand down the sides. Now you can see this finger joint on the bottom here as it goes up into this belly cut. It just kind of disappears. Now I have an idea of what we're going to do for a finish for the back and the sides. It's going to be another experiment, but that's just kind of the way it is. And then so the solution that I had for those areas that are pulling away, those joints that look like they've opened up, is I just took some dust from the dust collector on the sander and mixed that with a little bit of Red Label Tight Bond, got that into kind of a thick paste, pressed it down in there, and we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and sand it, and it should be fine. That was it. that's what we did. We did a lot of discussion. Again, we're in a class that where the majority of people have limited experience with woodworking tools. So we have to do a lot of we do a lot of discussion on how to properly utilize a tool, how to do it safely. We're talking about personal protection, not just eye protection, but the difference between just a dust mask for particulate matter. Talking about higher efficiency dust masks to try to keep that little small, the floaties is what we call them, that hang in the air from getting into your lung meats and getting that all contaminated up. So we're doing a lot of groundwork, and we'll be going along. I put a very tight round over on the bottom edge of the guitar. We just did that over on the router. And I've got some parts in the mail coming in for some binding that we're going to include on the top, as well as the surprise top treatment that we're going to do on this instrument. Anyways, that's what we did this week in guitar school. If you've got questions, put them in the comment section down beneath the sermon notes. If you think this is entertaining or educational, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you're notified the next time that I do something like this. And be sure to search guitarbuilding.org to see if there is a class near you that you can take where you can learn the science behind guitar building and what makes a guitar function. Or if you have a kid that's in school, junior high or high school, have them check with their shop teacher if that is a program that they are running, or maybe that you could be the spark that gets that program initiated at a location near you. Anyways, short and sweet. I'm James. This is Rattlecan Guitar Restorations. Remember, if I can do it, you guys can do it. You have a great weekend. Cheers. Hey, if you like this episode of Rattlecan Guitar Restorations, you might want to check this video out as well. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Y'all have a good weekend. Cheers.